week we celebrated Krishna Janmashtami by learning the song Govardhana Giridhara in the Ragam Darbari Kannada, composed by the great Narayana Tirthar. I had an overwhelming support from all of you, and thank you so much. Looking forward, Ganesh Chaturthi is fast approaching, and I'm planning on doing a tutorial on the famous Ganesha Pancharatnam, written by Adishankara in the 8th century and sung by none other than Bharat Ratna Srimati M.S. Subbulakshmi. The reason for choosing this shloka for this tutorial is because I personally feel right from beginners by beginners I mean people who have come up to maybe 1 or 2 Geetams, to very advanced students, there is a lot of learning that can be done from this shloka. There are 5 ragas. It is like a Raga Malika Varnam. If you learn a Raga Malika Varnam, one Anupallavi or one Pallavi, you have a Ragam. You shift to another Ragam to the next stage. That is how it is. Every shloka is going to shift into another Ragam. The essence of each of these Ragams are soaked in the shlokas. So that is a learning. You learn 5 ragas. You learn how a raga is moving. More than that, you learn a lot of techniques which are very important for you to connect with your instrument. I always tell my students that we choose songs that will improve our techniques and our connect with our instrument. That is most important, because this instrument, this divine instrument, is very vocal in nature. In order to bring out the vocal nature of this instrument, you need to train your hands for varieties of techniques. And where do you learn these techniques from? These songs act as tools through which techniques are picked. There are similar types of songs. There are songs that are very diverse. So choosing songs that you want to learn intelligently also improves the impact of or your relationship with the instrument, thereby your ability to bring out the vocal nature of the instrument, which improves tremendously. Let's go to the first shloka. It is in Ragam Hamsadwani. For those of you who do not know what Hamsadwani is, the Arohanam goes like this: Sa, Re 2, Ga 3, Pa, Mi 3, Sa. So it's essentially an Audava Ragam, 5 notes in the Arohanam, the same 5 notes going in the Avarohanam. Sa, Ni, Pa, Ga, Re, Sa. Here on the screen you will see the Arohanam, Avarohanam written. Do check, beginners, this is my advice for you. You need to be very correct with the notes of Hamsadwani. Do not bring in any wrong notes. So first get yourself used to the Arohanam, Avarohanam of the Ragam before you even start learning the shloka. Now it is in Adi Talam and it is not on Samam. So I am going to tap. If you see on the screen, 2 notes you leave on the first beat and then the shloka starts. Now why does this happen? Why cannot it happen on the beat? Is because that is how the lyrics have been set to the Tala meter. There is a Tala metric, the way the beats move, and the Sahityam also should move in tandem with it. Ga 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 pa ri ga ri sa. That will be Mudaakaraatha Modakam. Now you have ga 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 pa pa Mudaakaraatha. You need to give texture to the repetitive notes. Here you have ga ga ga. It's a repetitive note. It's like a Jandavarisai. So unless you add texture to that Jandavarisai, the shloka is not going to be heard. It's not going to be clear. So you bring the first ga from Re. Second ga will be plain. Third ga, again you can come from Re, or you can split your finger and do your, if you're comfortable splitting the finger and doing a Jandavarisai, I would prefer that. Watch this. Ga, 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 pa. So I've shown you the 2 different ways. One is the split finger way and the other one is dashing it from the previous note. Once again. Ga, pa, the last rata, ga, pa will be plain. Modakam. Modakam can be played in 2 different ways. If you want to play it really simple, ga, ri, sa, that becomes Modakam. If you want to play it a little more, beautiful, bring out Hamsadwani, the beauty of Hamsadwani, then it be Raga, Resa. On the Veena, you must remember, mixing of frequencies is very, very important. The notation might say Ga, Resa, but you will have to try and bring in other notes also into that Ga, Resa to bring out the essence of the ragam and the feel of the sahitya. That is the most important thing that you must learn in this journey of playing the Saraswati Veena. Once again, I play the first line. Sada vimukti sadakam. Go to the second string. Sa. The sa is behind ma. Behind ma of the first string, you have the shadjamam on the second string. So you're going to say sa sa pa sa sa. Sada vimukti. You can directly do the sasa in a Jandavarase format. Go to pa out, take your hand out for the pa and come back to again sasa. Or you can sasa and then drag it down the string and strike the pa. So it will be sada vi. People who are not able to do that can go straight. Sa, sa, pa, sa, sa. Those are the two tonal effects that you will get. I am doing this because I also want beginners to catch up. I don't want beginners to be overwhelmed by all these pushes and pulls. So I'm showing both varieties. Both of them bring out, it's a shloka. I told you it's a semi-chant. It is not like a big raga flow. So even if you remove your hand like this, Sada vimukti is heard, Hamsadwani is felt there. So it's going to be equally good. Sadakam vi re re. Typically it's a lot of Jandavarase, so you'll get to practice your Jandavarase if you've not touched it for a long time. So it's a good exercise. Once again, Mudaakaraatha Modakam, Sadhavi Mukti Sadakam. Ne re ni pa ne re. Kaladharavatam sakam. So you have ni next to the sa on the second string. We are still on the second string. So you're saying re. Once again re. Two times. Kaladharava kaladharavatam sakam. So it is a ne re ni pa ne re. All of the notes are struck except for the when you do the ni pa, the pa becomes silent. Why? Kaladharavatam tam. It takes that pa as an akara. So it's very important when you're producing or reproducing a song. If it has to sound the same way, you need to work out on all of this. So there is an akaram, there is an or an there, which I need to let go of the note silent. This is one way of seeing that the flow of the shloka is continuously heard. So kalada sakam ne re ne pa ne re vilasi loka rakshakam gaga pagari sa ne re sa. So you jump to the first string, gaga, give a texture to the Jandavarase by split finger or by dashing from a previous note. Rest of the notes are all simply struck. You don't have to do any connects. Gaga pagari sa ne re sa vilasi loka rakshakam. Till here I hope it was clear. Go slow, take it slow. For 10 minutes you sit and work only on these two lines. Then you can progress to the next two lines. Until you are very confident of one section, don't move to the next section. So once you have gotten section after section after section, then chain it together. And in one day, I'm sure all of you will be able to learn one shloka. Then Anayakaikanayakam Gari ga pa 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 pa. Now here I am doing double strike in ga. One for ga and one to go to re. Watch this. Ana ya gari ga. The second ga is going plain. No connect there. Pa 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 pa. So many panchamams there. Need texture. Jandavarisai has to be just definitely dropped in at least on two of the panchamams there. Once again. This is one technique, split finger. The other one is on the second and the last panchamams. You just dash it from the previous note. If you are doing it from a previous note which is not part of the ragam, then you have to just go quick, where the madhyamam is just not heard. If you take time in that note and move, that ma will be heard, and that is an aberration. That is not Hamsadwani at all. So be very careful when you are going into the dashing method. You need to really move quick. Once again. Veena side badaityakam Pagaga papa ni sani. Double strike in pa. And then one ga there. Pagaga. The ga becomes a Jandavarisai. So if you want, you can do a Jandavarisai for the second ga. Papa. Pagaga papa ni sani. Vinashide badaityakam Nata subha sunasakam. Watch this. Ni double strike. Double strike. Re. And then from re. All the notes are actually struck. In this case, you're having two connects. And by connects, I mean you double strike in the same note. Watch this. Ni, double strike to go to ga. Re is plain. And from re, you strike and go to ni and go back to re. So it becomes a ni, ga, re, ni, re. Why you need to use these techniques at certain places? Because nada, nada, subha. So let me play it plain and show you. You hear nada, subha, but do you hear it in a way that it is being sung? Our entire goal is to bring out the vocal nature of this shloka, because it is coming as a ragam, right? That is why the double strike is given here, to extract that nada, subha, Ganesha Pancharatnam. All three of them are plain. You can give a slight shake to the ga also. Namamitam Vinayakam. Now look at this. Pasas pa. You come to pa. Leave that. Whatever you were in sa earlier. Leave the shajamam. Come to panchamam. And do double strike of panchamam and say Pasasa. Sa. There are three sas if you see. The last sa you have to strike and then drop down to Gandharam silently. Watch this. Why did I do that? Because Vinayakam, which is the next word, is going to travel from ga. If you don't do this drop down, it's going to sound like this. There is something that is lacking, there is missing, right? And that is this connect that you're giving, this drop down that you have to give from Shajamam to the Gandharam. Pa, sa, double strike pa, sa, sa. One Jandavarisai in the last sa dropping down to ga. Vinayakam, ga, pa, ni, sa. All of them played separately. Now this line is repeated again and a small change is made towards the end. How is it? Instead of saying Gapa Nisa for Vinayakam, you're saying Vinayakam Gapa Nisa Namamitam Gapa Nisa was the first one. Second one. Now let me play this whole shloka and I'll show it in close up so that it will be easier for all of you to follow. The talam, the gaps that are required between the Namamitam Vinayakam, all of that is there in the notation. If you're finding it difficult to read the notation, I am going to post the video that I've already done long back on how to write and read notations. I'll post it in the description section. Any shortcut I can tell you cannot take you too long. So have the concepts really understood well, and here at Nadayoga, I am very clear. Whatever I post, I see to it that the concepts are given clearly to you. Once the concepts are learned, you can build over it. Best of luck, and I would hope you all to write in the comments section how well you are faring.